All right, you fought him amateur like 5 times?
6 times, with 3 and 3 as amateurs. But you know, first fight, I think he was like 9 years old or something like that. So he's been fighting since he was kids. Yeah, no, he's the pro. He's doing good. I'm doing good.
Again, I felt like I was fighting an amateur. I made it look like he shouldn't even be in the ring with me. But if he wanted to do it again, I'm going to end him even worse because he's never.
Ryan Garcia, you read somewhere.
Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney have been at odds for years. But as May 2025 approaches, their rivalry has reached new heights. With both fighters set to compete on the same card on May 2nd, anticipation is at an all-time high. Garcia is scheduled to face Rolando Romero, while Haney will take on José Ramírez. However, neither seems fully focused on their upcoming opponents. Instead, their attention remains locked on each other, especially after a recent physical altercation added more fuel to the fire. Garcia has done everything in his power to keep the spotlight on Haney rather than his own fight. Ever since his controversial 2024 victory over Haney was overturned due to...
You think that was a legit?
Come on. I think you lose something to lose weight.
You think Ryan was better versus you than against Haney?
Yeah, for sure, because he had to train.
Garcia part 2. Who you got in that one?
Haney and Garcia part 2.
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan or Haney?
I mean, if he did to slip the hook,
So you're not buying the PED?
A failed test, he has insisted that he was set up. To him, losing that win wasn't just unfair, it was proof that the system was against him. He has refused to move on, repeatedly asserting that Haney knows, deep down, who the better fighter is. Whether in interviews on social media or at press events unrelated to Haney, Garcia has consistently found ways to bring up their unfinished business. Positioning himself as a victim of circumstance, Garcia claims he dominated in the ring only to have his moment stolen by outside forces.
That wasn't a steroid whooping, bro. That was just a cold blood.
That was bad.
They ever run that back?
This frustration has driven his every move since returning to boxing. He sees his fight against Romero as nothing more than a stepping stone back to Haney. To Garcia, this isn't just about winning. It's about setting the record straight. Despite his determination, Garcia has shown little concern for Romero. Instead of focusing on his opponent, he has used the fight's build-up to take more shots at Haney, making it clear that once he defeats Romero...
Yeah.
How did you get hit with that shot early in the fight? I mean, talk to me.
It's boxing. You can't swim without getting wet. You're gonna get hit.
So the first round happened, bro. You said you had a great camp. This what I don't understand. I don't know how. Was he that fast with his left hook? I know y'all worked on it because you said it.
Haney will have no choice but to face him again. This time, Garcia vows the rematch will leave no doubt. He will prove once and for all that his initial victory was no fluke. One of the biggest obstacles to a rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney is drug testing, once again. Garcia has been vocal about his distrust of VDA, the agency that flagged his failed test in 2024. He has repeatedly stated that he will not agree to VDA testing for a potential rematch, instead pushing for a different organization to oversee the process. In his view, VDA cannot be trusted, and he believes
no, I didn't take steroids. It's not going to be much different. I mean, the crazy thing is they want to like keep on saying, oh, it's because of the PEDs. It's because of the PEDs. I was on fighting a guy with PEDs. PEDs don't help you block a...
The entire situation was orchestrated to rob him of his moment. Haney, however, has been firm in his stance. He refuses to entertain any discussions about alternative testing, making it clear that there will be no fight unless full VDA testing is in place. Unlike Garcia, Haney has not been as engaged in the constant back and forth. Instead, he has remained focused on his fight against José Ramírez, avoiding unnecessary distractions. However, when he does respond, he does not hold back. Haney has downplayed Garcia's skills, even questioning whether he belongs at the top level of boxing. To him, Garcia is more of a social media personality than a legitimate fighter. With his popularity...
Just the PEDs that beat you, or do you think it was his skill set plus the PEDs?
PEDs, I mean, it's going to enhance whatever you already got. It wasn't just trash. And if they do, you can justify it, right? You should be able to justify how I got in your system, and it will set you free. The truth will set you free.
So you feel like it was...
Garcia was the one to approach Haney first, wasting no time in reminding him that their rivalry was far from over. His words were sharp and confident as he vowed that when their rematch happened, there would be no doubts left. At first, Haney remained composed, brushing off Garcia's remarks. But as Garcia grew louder and more aggressive, Haney eventually fired back, questioning whether Garcia would even make it past Romero. He also cast
She just made the video way better.
doubt on Garcia's discipline, suggesting that he lacked the commitment needed to remain at the top level. To Haney, he was simply the better fighter, no debate needed. Tensions nearly boiled over when Garcia stepped closer, refusing to back down. Security had to intervene, separating the two before things escalated further. The brief altercation only added more fuel to their rivalry, with Garcia later taking to social media to continue taunting Haney. He claimed Haney was afraid to face him and accused him of hiding behind security instead of standing his ground. To Garcia, the scene was just more proof that Haney wasn't as tough as he pretended to be. While Garcia has continued his relentless verbal attacks, Haney and his camp have largely downplayed the situation. His team insists that Garcia is more interested in making
You know it instantly after the fight's over. You come back and you right those wrongs. I do believe that it's a rematch that he will win. I think we talked about this time and time again. I think it's a rematch that
And he can beat Ryan Garcia.
Oh yeah. I do.
Don't fight that type of style. Don't stand right in front of him.
Yeah.
Do your Devin Haney, and get out of there.
And that's what you do with rematches. You find everything you did wrong.
headlines than fighting. One of Haney's trainers dismissed the entire incident as a distraction, arguing that Garcia's antics were a sign of nervousness ahead of his upcoming fight, an attempt to create noise and keep attention on himself. Despite all the back and forth, both men understand that May 2nd is the most important night of their careers. For Garcia, a win over Romero is crucial. If he loses, all his talk will mean nothing. A defeat wouldn't just shatter his hopes of a rematch with Haney, it would also deal a serious blow to his credibility as a top fighter. For Haney, the objective is simple: continue his dominance by beating Ramírez and proving once again that he belongs among the sport's elite. Unlike Garcia,
You want to take it because I did that already. I tried to do a fair. I tried to, it was 3-3 since amateurs. I tried to give you that, that another fight, and when it was even, we was drug tests, we was on even playing.
That's with Ryan Garcia. Is that something that's like, man, I gotta get that back?
He was right here. I get it back right now. Because it's just, if somebody did you like that,
Haney believes he doesn't need trash talk or drama to stay relevant. His performances in the ring speak for themselves. If both fighters win, their rematch is all but guaranteed. However, the unresolved issue of drug testing looms large. Garcia remains firm in his refusal to submit to VDA testing again, while Haney insists that full testing is non-negotiable. With neither side willing to compromise, the standoff threatens to block what would be one of the biggest fights in boxing.
We know what was involved, but I truly believe that Devin Haney beats Ryan Garcia in the rematch. I truly think that Devin is the better boxer. I think that Devin, when focused, firing on all cylinders, is just a better boxer than Ryan. Like, how do you come out of your mouth and say he has Devin's number? He doesn't. That was one fight, one time, big moment.
As things stand, Ryan Garcia has already moved on, making it clear that his focus is on dismantling Rolando Romero. Devin Haney, on the other hand, can't seem to let go of the past. Instead of brushing off the controversy surrounding their fight, Haney remains stuck in an endless cycle, constantly trying to convince people that he was the victim of a tainted bout. His latest outburst on X, where he lashed out at fans and once again brought up steroid accusations, only reinforced the idea that he's mentally rattled. The problem? Fans aren't buying it. If anything, many see Haney as someone who has spent too much time in luxury, struggling to accept the reality that he was dropped multiple times and beaten by a fighter he once dismissed as a joke. The irony is hard to ignore. Haney was the one who used...
And that's how I feel like with that situation. I feel like, yeah, what will waiting 4 years do for me? Like, it's gonna look like, okay, I waited it out. He's a good fighter, but if you embarrass me like that, my pride is gonna kick in like as a fighter. Like, I'm gonna wanna, we're gonna have to line it up again.
To call Garcia soft and question his dedication to boxing. Now, he's the one obsessing over a fight that the boxing world has already moved past. All of a sudden, y'all be experts on PEDs now. That's crazy, Haney posted in frustration, clearly irritated by fans who won't let him forget what happened. But the more he talks, the worse it looks. Garcia in contrast, has ignored Haney's latest rant entirely. Instead, he's locked in on training, posting clips of his sparring sessions that showcase his blistering speed and power. The contrast is undeniable. One fighter is preparing for the future, while the other is stuck in the past. The bigger concern now isn't just Haney's inability.
We have to win. We have to win. Can't look over past our opponents. So, yeah, we already faced off. We're already ready to go.
Is it true that you
know, they take I felt like the victory I always wanted was, against an elite fighter, somebody that, I thought would give me my respect in boxing. I know in my heart they set me up in that way. It did a number on me. I became very angry.
Who's next? Is it Devin?
It's Devin. We already signed
but Devin has to, okay.
Ability to move on. But how this mindset could impact his performance against José Ramírez. Some fans are already predicting that Haney might make a critical mistake on fight night, underestimating Ramírez's power and experience. Unlike Garcia, Ramírez isn't a flashy talker or a social media star. He's a tough, relentless fighter who systematically breaks opponents down. If Haney enters the ring distracted, Ramírez could capitalize in a big way. Meanwhile, whispers from Haney's inner circle suggest growing concerns. Some close to him have hinted that he hasn't been fully locked in during training camp. One insider reportedly said,
"He will pay. I want to get it back in blood in the ring, but also outside the ring. I'm still a businessman at the end of the day. And people admire me because of my business sense in the ring and out the ring. I mean that in many different ways. When you sign a contract, he said that he's gonna be clean going into the fight. I'm gonna be clean. It ain't gonna be nothing in my system. It ain't gonna be nothing in his system. And he didn't hold up his bargain. He didn't hold up on his side of that. So
Devin's in the gym, but his mind, that's somewhere else. This ain't the first time we've seen him go through this. That alone raises serious red flags. If Haney loses to Ramírez, the consequences will be brutal. The rematch with Garcia, something he insists is inevitable, will disappear. His dream of being the face of boxing will fade. Instead, he'll find himself thrown into the mix with fighters like Romero or Teofimo Lopez, boxers looking for a statement win to revive their own careers. And if Haney ends up in that position, things could spiral even further downward.
Between them, but I mean, the way Ryan Garcia did Devin Haney last time, bro, I got no choice but to go with Ryan Garcia again, bro. Like, I mean, shit.
Devin Haney Part 2, they get together. What do you think about that fight? How's that go down?
I mean, I've seen him fight in the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been a great fight.